Good morning, good afternoon and good evening YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Joey Does Tech and welcome yourselves back to a brand new video. This is not what this video is about. However, look at this. How beautiful is this? Nintendo DSi, my first one that I've ever owned that isn't an XL, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Everything works fine, but the digitizer doesn't, so I've ordered a replacement one. This cost me £8, about $11, and I've had to pay £3, aka $5, for the replacement digitizer. This is amazing. It's so nice. That's not why we're here today. Today, we're looking at the Nintendo DSi XL that we have failed to fix on numerous occasions. You guys might remember this bad boy from streams or videos or nightmares, perhaps. We replaced the charging port twice on this, but I now have some new replacement charging ports. The previous ones I had were believed faulty, and that's what we're here to test today, whether they are actually faulty or whether there is a different underlying issue with this DSi XL. Since I put it back together last time, it now doesn't turn on. Whether or not something hasn't been placed back correctly on the daughter board or wherever it may be, we're about to find out. Let's go. What I will say first off is that if you do want to see any previous videos regarding this specific DSi XL, I will leave them potentially up in the top right hand corner of the screen now and also in the description down below. It doesn't turn on, so first things first, and it does definitely have a full battery by the way. First things first, let's take it apart. I've taken this specific device apart more times than I'd like to admit. First thing I'm going to do is check the fuse on the back of this board and make sure that it's definitely not blown, because that is probably the biggest culprit, I think, of why this wouldn't turn on. Board itself, just as a whole, looks fine at the moment. Can't see anything wrong with it. We're going to test with the multimeter to make sure that F1 still receives continuity. F1 isn't getting any love, by the way. This is F1, there's no continuity on F1 at all. It's completely gone, which is not good. On this board, we have another fuse, which is located up here, which I believe is called F2, or goes by the name of F2. This also doesn't work. So both of the fuses have now blown. I know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. F1 fuse on the daughter board is coming off. F1 fuse or F2 fuse, whichever it is, on here is coming off. I'm also gonna remove the charging port on here as well. I'm gonna get everything off the board completely. I'm gonna get two more F1 fuses and put them on here and on the board as well, just to make sure that they obviously do work. I think I've got some spares, so I imagine it's gonna work. Then I'm gonna replace this charging port with one of the newer charging ports I've got, which is actually here. So I don't actually need to bend the pins and bend the legs because they're already bent. So yeah, I'm gonna swap out the charging port on here, on this board here, for one of these, and I'm also gonna replace both of the fuses, and I assume that they're both dead. Let's get started. We now have a little bit of a mess that I need to clean up, but I will also look at getting the board back in and everything screwed up. And then we're just gonna go for it and we're gonna test. Just a really quick run through of what we've done. There are 2 fuses, both of them were dead, so there was clearly a short on the board. I don't know where, I don't know if I fixed it. One of the first things that we've done is when we got the port off, we then just resoldered EM1, which I thought might have been an issue previously, but there was still continuity, etc, etc. I have resoldered that. I have put the port on and the port looks okay. You would have probably had a better angle on the microscope itself, but everything sort of seems to be wired up. Again, continuity is flowing through most of the places where I've tested before to make sure. There was one fuse that was here on the board that was being replaced, and there was also another fuse on the daughter board, just about here. Again, the microscope, you would have been able to see it better, but it's just from a different perspective. So everything's clean as well. I've dipped literally most things in IPA and just giving it a good scrub with the old toothbrush. We're now going to see if this A turns on, which it wasn't before, and B, whether it actually charges. That's the biggest thing. Does it charge? Obviously it turning on is a huge thing. Let's put it back together. Anticipation coffee. I've got to mention one thing that I did earlier. I've done my first ever copper wire trace repair sort of thing. The one that I repaired was ground, so it didn't really matter too much, but I thought, you know what, whilst I'm here, let me get some practice in and actually see if I can do it. And I think I've done okay. Again, the continuity was working when I was going from prong over to the pad, so yeah, I think we're all good. Now I'm about 15% sure that this is gonna work. 85% it's not gonna work. I've had a blast doing this anyway because it's allowed me to use my microscope. I've done my first trace repair sort of thing. Dabbled around with repairing some bad solder joints on EM1 and replaced 2 tiny little fuses. So I've had a blast. If this does work, I'll be ecstatic. Let's find out. Does it turn on? It does, which is a result, right? It wasn't turned on before. It now turns on. So that's really, really good. Everything works, LR, etc. The question is, hello. The question is, does it charge? That's the biggest thing. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna grab my charger and we're gonna put it in. This is with the new port. I'll be absolutely flabbergasted. I don't think it's going to, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up. How does the port look? So that's after we've put it in. It's slightly at an angle, slightly this way, ever so slightly. But that's because of the trace repair. So the wire was like underneath holding it up. Here we go. Nah. Come on then, let's go, man. Oh my God. I'm actually like ecstatic. I can't believe. And look, I'm moving it about and it's not falling. I'm so happy. Oh my God. I know this is, again, for a lot of people, it's gonna be like, why is he getting so happy? But honestly, man, this is more complex than the repair that I done on the blue Nintendo DSi XL, which is this one here, where I just had to mess around with the R and the B, and that was quite tough, and I deemed that my hardest repair. But then we've done this. Like, I can't. Again, the people who know, who have been here on this journey, and again, I'll leave the videos in the description, who know about what is going on with this Nintendo DSi XL will know why I'm so happy that I've managed to fix this. This is my first proper fix. Has to be. I'm naming it. This is my first proper micro-soldering, trace repair, you name it, fix. And I am ecstatic. Let me just make sure that it's still on. It is. That's incredible, man. Oh my God, and it's just staying on. It's just charging. This is fully functioning. This is fully functioning. If I turn it off, does it still charge? It does, look, man. Oh my God. It could have been just a really bad port. That is definitely an option, but don't forget we replaced the fuses as well. I thought there might have been a bit of crack solder where the EM1, I think it's a transistor, I don't know, it might be. But yeah, where that was, I believe there was a little bit of crack solder. We managed to get it working. Honestly, I'm over the moon. I'm gonna try a different charger as well, just to make sure. The connection's pretty solid. So here's another charger. This one doesn't stretch as far, so I'm just gonna have to try and get this one in. And look at that. That's the mains one. So that one goes to the mains. The other one was USB powered. And yeah, I mean, wiggling it about, it just stays. I don't want to wiggle it about too much. I do need to give it a bit of a test run before I end up getting rid of it, just to make sure that the games are fine. The games worked fine previously, and I haven't touched the card reader or anything like that, so we should be all good. R and B you saw worked as normal. I'm gonna put the screws back on this. I think I'm probably gonna regret shaking this around as many times as what I am, but I mean, look. Happy is completely underestimating how I feel. Thank you guys and everybody in the Discord on the JDT channel who have supported me and helped me through recommendations and telling me to try different things, and I appreciate every single one of you. Honestly, thank you so much. Together, we have fixed it. With your brains and my fingers, we managed to get it working. I'm learning more and more every single day, and that's what I love about this channel and the community and the game itself. Tech repair, it's so interesting. You have your downs where you try things and you think, but that honestly, that feeling of when you get something right and you manage to fix it, it far surpasses. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. I've been your boy Joey Does Tech, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. It's boing your bean. It's boing your bean, Joey Does Tech.